The whole state of Alabama is on edge right now.
We have some breaking news about a missing 3-year-old child in Birmingham.
Nothing brings a city together like the welfare of a child.
We are highly concerned about where little Kamille, affectionately known as Cupcake, is.
It's like a needle in a haystack.
You see this gorgeous little girl just disappear, and her parents have no answers.
My faith was gone.
We were living the nightmare here in Birmingham.
Birmingham is a quite beautiful city. It's called the Magic City. It's a small town, but it does have a big town flavor. And I mean a flavor in the sense of good food as well.
Everybody knows each other to a certain extent. Like, somewhere in Birmingham, you're gonna meet somebody that you know.
I first moved to Birmingham back in 2002. The first stop I made when I first moved to Birmingham, my wife and I visited the Civil Rights Institute and basically baptized ourselves in the history of the civil rights here.
These are the actual bars that Dr. King was locked behind.
You have racial issues back, especially during the 60s and early 70s.
It takes time to appreciate the richness of the civil rights history, how much it means to so many people, but also that it hasn't changed as much as you might think over the last 50 to 60 years. Kamille Cupcake McKinney is the picture-perfect example of a girl growing up in the city of Birmingham with her whole life ahead of her.
I always called the Cupcake when I was pregnant with her. I mean, a daughter, you know, that's something sweet. Big brown eyes, big smile that can light up a room, colorful personality, very colorful. Well, really, she was my Sour Patch Kid. Like, if she do something, like, you couldn't even be mad at her. Because, you know, they're so cute, you know.
On October 12, 2019, Kamille's mother was actually going to visit her cousin who lives in the Tom Brown Village, which is about 10 minutes east of downtown Birmingham.
Now, I proceed to the house, getting there, talking to my cousin.
Camille actually was able to play with her cousin around the same age in the yard.
So I say probably about 20, 30 minutes. It started to get dark. I remember my son, Amari, coming in to use the bathroom, and I had told him, I was like, you know, get your sister, we finna go. And in the middle of me finishing up my conversation, getting ready to go, my son just, it's something you'll never forget. Like, the way he busted in the house, couldn't find her. He was just like, Mom, I can't find Cupcake. Cupcake was gone.
We have some breaking news to tell you about a missing 3-year-old child in Birmingham.
Officers tell me this is a confirmed kidnapping case.
You watch stuff like this on TV, you don't think nothing like this would happen to you.
I cannot remember a significant kidnapping like this in the 2 decades I've worked here. It was a huge crime scene. Birmingham police, dozens of vehicles converged on the Tom Brown Village apartment complex to figure out exactly, you know, what had happened, where was she still in the immediate area?
The FBI got involved and we launched an investigation.
There was a witness to this. An 11-year-old boy tells police he saw this dark-colored SUV drive up, a male get out of the SUV, pick up the 3-year-old little girl, put her in the SUV, and drove away.
What we understand is that someone lured Cupcake and her cousin over to a vehicle promising them candy, and then lured Kamille into the vehicle. The vehicle that they claim that she got into, nobody recognized that vehicle. It was a Sequoia. They also had access to a lot of security cameras, not only in the Tom Brown Village area, but in surrounding communities, gas stations, businesses. And so they were gathering as much information as they could.
Any information about this, even the slightest clue, minutes really do count. Take a look at this beautiful little girl.
We hear about custodial kidnappings from time to time. Those are probably once a month.
You know, the parents are always the suspects. We had just got out of a long relationship. So, because the police was so adamant about it being a custodial battle, the first few days and having to take a lie detector test.
Initially, everyone is a suspect, and you don't rule out the parents until you rule them out.
Once we heard the senior detectives with the Birmingham Police Department describing the facts as they knew them, we knew this was a different story.
A number of people have been out here searching and praying day and night for 3-year-old Kamille Cupcake McKinney.
When you couple the picture of Cupcake McKinney with that nickname, it was hard not to just tug at your heartstrings and want to help in any way.
Birmingham Police Chief Patrick Smith says all available resources have been put on this case.
This doesn't just affect Kamille's family or the neighborhood she was in, but it affects our entire city.
I can't imagine what her mom or her dad going through.
Dominic McKinney says his 3-year-old daughter, Kamille McKinney, also known as Cupcake, means the world to him.
It's a hard thing to swallow because I ain't never been without Cupcake. She's a good little girl, she's sweet, she's real lovable. Everybody like Cupcake. If anybody see anything, if anybody see Cupcake, please bring me my Cupcake back home. I'll do anything to get Cupcake back.
Birmingham police say they are searching for this vehicle, a dark-colored older model Toyota Sequoia.
There was a 911 call from someone that believed they had seen someone in a vehicle that matched the description of the Toyota Sequoia that was seen leaving the scene of the apartment complex where she disappeared. On October 14th was just 2 days after Kamille was kidnapped. Police did announce that they had taken 2 persons of interest in custody. And the 2 persons of interest, Patrick Stallworth and Derek Brown. Patrick Stallworth and Derek Brown were dating. They had a romantic relationship.
Evidence was obtained that allows our detectives to obtain warrants for both individuals that we have in custody.
They did announce some charges against Patrick Stallworth regarding child pornography on a cell phone. That charge had nothing to do with the kidnapping of Kamille McKinney, but that was a basis for them to hold him.
The second person we have in custody is Derek Arisha Brown. We have a probation revocation with no bond for her. The original charge for her happened to be kidnapping.
She had taken her 3 children when she did not have custody of them. The community had a sense of relief, hesitant relief, thinking maybe if they've found somebody that they believe is connected to her kidnapping, that maybe she would turn up any day.
It's day 3. We don't have any. Time is very precious right now. Let the baby go.
While police expanded the Amber Alert for her to surrounding states, this afternoon Police Chief Patrick Smith said it's possible she's still in the area.
On October 16th, Birmingham Police Department received a tip.
Birmingham police got a tip this morning. They found credible on where 3-year-old Kamille McKinney might be.
But this could be it. The search could be over.
Birmingham police got a tip this morning. They found credible on where 3-year-old Kamille McKinney might be.
They believe that Cupcake McKinney could in fact be on Jefferson Avenue at a location there, which is about 10-15 minutes west of downtown Birmingham. I actually was co-anchoring the midday cut-in, and they've been there now for almost 3 hours. We had live crews on the scene, cameras from several different angles, showing just dozens and dozens of law enforcement officers from various agencies just converging on the scene.
My feeling has been that she's here, that she wasn't taken anywhere. I'm relieved by that.
There was a competing TV station that received a tip from a law enforcement source that implied that, yes, that Kamille McKinney had been found.
A lot of people seem to feel that we're close to a resolution here, but I'm certainly not going to provide any false hope.
I remember scrambling, trying to figure out where did they get this information from.
For a time, cautious optimism seemed to fill Jefferson Avenue. This, many believed, was the time and the place.
Maybe they knew something before we could get it confirmed. Maybe they're right. Maybe she was found safely.
People all waiting to see if the 3-year-old would finally be coming home.
After 3 hours, it was revealed those hopes were dashed.
It was a false lead.
We received information that we thought was credible for this particular location. On the location of Kamille, we have not located the young lady. We want everybody to understand, please understand, we are still searching for her.
How confident are you that you will find her even after an extensive search here this afternoon?
We're very confident. We know everybody's concerned about her well-being, and we're going to keep searching. We're not going to give up, and we know this community is not going to give up on her.
About a week after Kamille was taken, there was a vigil held at the St. James AME Church.
I just remember at the altar just breaking down, crying, and about to throw up my insides. I threw up a lot of those days. Like, I was just sick in my stomach.
They placed their hands on Kamille's mother. They prayed on her.
We're standing on God's promises that in the end, everything is going to be all right.
I know they say you don't supposed to question God, but I question him a lot. Why this happened to me? What did I do? I'm a good person. You know, I don't do low-down things to people, God. Why you let this happen to me? My faith was gone.
One day after bonding out of jail, an attorney for a person of interest is talking.
It's disappointing that someone has labeled him as involved with kidnapping a beautiful child.
While his client works in the area where the incident happened and was in the area that day, they may be able to give an alibi where he was at the time of the kidnapping.
It became personal to everyone. Everyone kind of put themselves in the place of the parents of this child.
Just watching the news and waiting to hear about her.
If you live in Birmingham or anywhere near the greater metropolitan area, you've been touched by the recent event of little Kamille.
It could happen anywhere, and I mean, she is so precious.
It was a lot of love. That was the first time I really just seen everybody just get together.
It didn't matter your race, it didn't matter your religion, it didn't matter. We were all just one.
So 10 days after Kamille Cupcake McKinney was taken from the Tom Brown Village Apartments, the Birmingham Police Department held a press conference to announce an update in the case, led by the actual police chief himself. And at that point, when you saw him walk out there and step in front of the camera, you felt, okay, this is it. They're gonna either tell us they found her safely or they found her remains. 10 days after Kamille Cupcake McKinney was taken from the Tom Brown Village Apartments, the Birmingham Police Department held a press conference to announce an update in the case, a very big update in the case.
But our investigators, along with the FBI, have worked tirelessly, 24 hours a day, to locate this young child.
We were looking through 12, 13 tons of trash.
Stan Ruffin was actually a supervisory special agent with the FBI and was there on the scene.
It was determined that there were 2 or 3 more dumpsters that were in an apartment complex near the persons of interest apartment. A lead was developed that it was a potential location of Cupcake's body in one of these dumpsters. Cynthia Bowlby, the case agent, wanted that dumpster searched.
a truck that was going to take that dumpster to the landfill and dump it with the rest of the trash. She had to stop the driver and say, wait, don't take that dumpster, we need to search it.
The sun was going down and soon we were gonna lose ability to go through this. So I decided at that point to join into the search physically.
Typically, you know, a supervisory agent is not one searching like that.
I was in the pile of trash for probably 5 to 10 minutes and I saw what I thought was a doll. So I proceeded to go closer to what I saw and discovered that it was the remains of Cupcake.
Definitely a tragic update to tell you about tonight. A body believed to be little Kamille Cupcake McKinney found tonight, discovered in a dumpster.
When we found that child, not a dry eye, we took a moment. Everybody stopped what they were doing. We had several moments of quiet.
We found this evening remains of a child that we believe to be Kamille.
So I was just in denial because that wasn't what I wanted.
A year from now, she's supposed to be prepping for pre-K.
But like I said, my emotions, I was mentally gone. Like, I felt helpless.
It was heartbreaking.
It shook the community to the core.
Thought we was gonna find her alive. But I think it was just more the hopes of thinking that my child was gonna come back home safe and just know they discarded her like she was nothing.
This is tough. It's a tough moment for our city.
Tomorrow we will be screening warrants for kidnapping and capital murder against Patrick Stallworth and Derek Arisha Brown. Locating the remains were the last pieces of the puzzle that we needed to bring the capital murder charges and the kidnap charges against the individuals.
Patrick, you killed that little girl?
When Patrick Stallworth and Derek Brown entered the courtroom in chains, you could see the look on their face that they knew they were in big trouble. According to warrants read out loud in court, Kamille McKinney died on or about October 12th, which is the same day she went missing from the Tom Brown Village complex. Warrants also stated she died from asphyxiation.
FBI phone tracking records put Stallworth at the scene of the kidnapping on October 12th. FBI analysis found the DNA of Stallworth, Brown, and McKinney on a plastic mattress cover.
The toxicology report showed that they drugged her. It's just unspeakable, the things that she went through prior to her leaving this world.
So after the charges were announced against Patrick Stallworth and Derek Brown, every time there was either a birthday or an anniversary of her disappearance, there was a major gathering of the community and family. Balloon releases, vigils remembering what she meant to the family and her neighborhood. The story just did not die, didn't perish. Patrick Stallworth's trial was first, and that transpired in the fall of 2022.
I took the stand during the Stallworth and the Brown trial.
Stan Ruffin said he had investigated a lot of high-profile cases, including 9/11, and no probe that he'd ever been involved with before had affected him so personally.
It just brought back a lot of emotions, and shortly after discovering the remains, anytime I would see a 3 or 4-year-old girl, it would remind me of her.
Both juries did not take very long to convict both Derek Brown and Patrick Stallworth of the fatal kidnapping of Kamille "Cupcake" McKinney.
I can tell by the way the jurors, especially looking at Patrick's, they could jump on him right then. I think they would have.
The minute they were convicted of those 2 counts of fatal kidnapping of a child, they were never getting out of prison.
The only thing that's good about the situation is they're not on the streets to do it to somebody else.
For the last 1,237 days, April Thomas has lived a mother's worst nightmare. In your eyes, how evil are these two?
They're abomination. Abomination to God, scum of the earth. The things they did, I mean, what human would do something like that? They might look like us on the outside, but the inside, and that's when you become an abomination.
In the years since the death of Kamille "Cupcake" McKinney, Birmingham police launched Safe Passage to ensure what happened to McKinney doesn't happen to any other child.
We station community members from block to block so that kids are able to walk freely to and from school.
Honestly, I feel like that's like one of my biggest mistakes I beat myself up about today, was being comfortable with how I was raised. You know, the kids playing in the front yard, mommy and parents, they might sit in the living room with the blinds up, we talking and laughing, or, you know, somebody gonna check in and out at some point. And it ain't like I didn't check in and out the door. At one point, I just got caught up, wrong place, wrong time.
This could have happened to anyone. The bad people involved are the ones who should be held accountable for this tragic situation.
Help your children and don't.
I think now we're going to go ahead and take full coverage of Kamille "Cupcake" McKinney's funeral services.
That moment, that funeral, it let me know how much the city was behind her.
I wanted to come out not just to show support, but to show love.
I ain't never seen that like it.
Big picture, the Birmingham community grew closer together over the time of Cupcake McKinney's disappearance and search for her. That's the most lasting impact.